So do you agree with Reverend Graham and our panelists on this side that Americans should fear Islam?
We do believe as Muslims the East and the West will one day be governed by the Sharia. Indeed, we believe that one day the flag of Islam will fly over the White House. Indeed, there's even a narration of the Prophet where he said, the day of judgment will not come until a group of my ummah conquer the White House.
Okay.
Tonight we have another disturbing story to report. The Obama administration has confirmed to Fox News that earlier this month, members of the National Security Council met with this man, Abdullah bin Baya. Now, this is a group that openly supports Hamas and calls for the destruction of Israel. Now, the group was founded by an Egyptian cleric who in the past has called for the death of Americans and Jews and is banned for ever stepping foot in the United States.
This is completely impossible to understand. Why you would have this person in the White House talking to people on the National Security Council, a person who's the vice president of an organization that calls for the destruction of the state of Israel, an organization whose president has advocated killing Israelis and killing Americans. And he's the vice president of the group. So we have somebody sitting in the White House who's part of an organization that has advocated the killing of Americans. What is going on in the White House?
Another data collection, data gathering center on Islamists, though, is accusing the Obama administration of allowing scores of known radical Islamists to make hundreds of visits to the White House. It cites court documents and other records to identify many visitors belonging to groups serving as fronts for the Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, and other Islamic militant organizations.
Do you know how many of the members of your Countering Violent Extremism are members of Muslim Brotherhood? Let me ask you, Muhammad Biari was a member of the working group. You promoted him, and it said there, I've got articles here that say you swore him in as a member now of your, let's see, the Homeland Security Advisory Group. He's apparently been given a secret clearance. Let me make sure you leave here understanding. He was a featured speaker at the tribute to the great Islamic visionary Ayatollah Khomeini.
Questions now have been raised about Obama's CIA nominee by an ex-FBI agent who claims that the nominee for the CIA, John Brennan, is an Islamic convert with decades-old connections to the most anti-American variant of the religion.
But Bachman back then accused Ahmadin of helping members of the Muslim Brotherhood infiltrate the U.S. government. Why John Brennan should not be CIA director? Of course, he's a secret Muslim.
Mr. Brennan did convert to Islam when he served, and he has given them access to not only senior leaders inside the government, but has given them access to the National Security Council, the National Security staff. He has brought known Hamas and Muslim Brotherhood operatives into those positions of government.
But for more than 3 decades, I have also had the tremendous fortune to travel the world, and as part of that experience, to learn about the goodness and beauty of Islam.
And we begin this evening with the conflict in Syria, where the Obama administration is preparing to send weapons to jihadists who have vowed to destroy America. That's right. It looks like the White House is, well, they're getting ready to arm al-Qaeda terrorists in Syria. President Barack Obama has signaled that he will greenlight the transfer of lethal weapons to FSA, that's Free Syrian Army militants in Syria, within weeks, despite the fact that such groups are being led by al-Qaeda terrorists responsible for killing U.S. troops in Iraq who have vowed to destroy America.
So forget all of those speeches that this president gave at AIPAC and, oh gosh, we're Israel's best friend, we're going to help them, because, oh no, we're going to give people who have the power to destroy Israel on the border with Israel military aid as they are planning. Many there make it clear they hate Israel, they hate us, and it's time that we do not provide military aid, abetting, and assistance to people that want to destroy Christians, that want to destroy Israelis, and that want to put the world in turmoil and have everyone living exactly as they dictate.
The very same insurgents who Obama now plans to arm with lethal weapons are the same guys who have openly expressed their radical hatred towards America. They're out there ransacking Christian churches, burning American flags, singing their praises to Osama bin Laden.
President Obama hasn't been to church since he took office. Well, how many Sundays have you been counting? 11 Sundays so far. Now he's saying we are not a Christian nation. So is there a message being sent?
What I was suggesting, you're absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith, and you're absolutely right that that has not come my Christian faith. And well, what I'm saying is he hasn't suggested that I'm a Muslim.
Obama's Lucky Charms, a ring that says there is no God except for Allah. Let's take a look at the article. Barack Obama's Lucky Charms include a Hindu god, a Masonic emblem, and a wedding ring that has the phrase, there is no God except Allah. You can see right there, clear as day, the Masonic ring. You can talk to Dan Badani, he'll give you a whole history on Masonic doings. Yeah, you can see it real good right there. If we keep scrolling down, I believe there's a few more. Yeah.
As an ordained United Methodist minister, I am here to attest and affirm that our faith and belief in God is central to the American story and informs the values we've expressed in our party's platform. In addition, President Obama recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel.
All those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed, say no. In the opinion of the, let me do that again. All of those delegates in favor say aye. All those delegates opposed say no. I guess.
All right, check out this website. Poor Christian missionaries were at an Arab festival over in Dearborn, Michigan, when they had a huge run-in with police.
The Christians were the only ones that were charged, and you know, it's interesting, it wasn't the Christians that were breaching the peace, it was the hecklers, the Muslims who were actually making threats to them. And instead, what we have now, we have 4 Christians who are locked up and spent an evening in the jail for doing nothing more than expressing their religious beliefs. You know, in our country, we're not governed by Sharia law, we're governed by the Constitution, and we have a First Amendment that protects those rights.
Is this more, were they adhering to Sharia law in their arrest? Because it doesn't seem to be going by our Constitution.
I guess that was my point. Again, you know, our Constitution protects the right to free exercise of religion, the right to freedom of speech. Under Sharia law, you don't have those particular rights. You know, it's probably not a coincidence that in a city where you have the largest Muslim population in the United States, that you have police who are persecuting Christians.
It is so dangerous down at that border, and you don't see that on television because cameramen usually don't go there. I'm catching 60 people at a clip with the Border Patrol agents, and mixed in are people from the Middle East. We're joking about it, but it's very, very serious because as I asked Congressman King if I had a bus of drug cartel members, Hezbollah, or Chinese nationals, what don't you want to get through? The reason being is because the Chinese nationals, they could create a cyber 9/11. And I witnessed 9/11 firsthand. I mean, I was like this, and I ran from those buildings. A cyber 9/11 would make that day look simple. I mean, we're talking about shutting down our air traffic control or shutting down the electric grid on the East Coast. This country would not be able to get through that sort of thing. So the fact that we're allowing that to come through the border, this is a pathway to disaster. And we will never understand until it happens that America will never be the America we know. Because let me tell you, we just watched the city of Boston shut down for a week because of 2 guys who learned how to use pressure cookers.
Think terror training camps are only located in places like Pakistan? Think again. Our next guest has proof that radical Muslims are training to wage jihad right here in our own backyards.
terrorist organization at war in the Middle East, and tonight top anti-terror officials tell the 6 News investigators Hezbollah agents are active in the Charlotte area.
We do believe as Muslims the East and the West will one day be governed by the Sharia. Indeed, we believe that one day the flag of Islam will fly over the White House. Indeed, there's even a narration of the Prophet where he said the day of judgment will not come until a group of my ummah conquer the White House.
Okay,
The aims of the White House Rural Development Plan sound eerily similar to a UN plan called Agenda 21, where a central planning agency would be responsible for oversight into all areas of our lives, a one world order. Sound familiar?